tiger on the prowl. I'ma make it go wild. I'm original, and I told you so. I'm a kid in the candy store with the leather on the denim. I ain't the cure, I'm the venom. If you wanna find me, find the taillight. Something's coming in, you're gonna wanna take a red eye. It's time to go. It's time to go. Get ready. Get ready. Get ready. Don't blink, don't blink. Get ready. Get ready. Get ready. Don't blink, don't blink. I don't wait for nobody. I'm a summer name on the dotty. City lights call my name, drawn to the flame, and I'm feeling kinda naughty. I hit the ground running, step out the door and I'm stunning. Better hold tight cause you know what's going down. I'm setting the pace cause this is my town. So get ready. Get ready. Get ready. Don't blink, don't blink. Get ready. Get ready. Get ready. Don't blink, don't blink. Get ready. Get ready. Get ready. Don't blink, don't blink. Get ready. Get ready. Get ready. Don't blink, don't blink.
Good day, everybody. What up, Wednesday? It's here again. I'm so excited. Thanks for joining in. It is a gorgeously sunny -28 in Calgary. Just look, I got to keep up with the Brits. Y'all have been telling me about the weather for the last, I don't know, 49 years of my life. So I figured I'd pay it back today. It's really cold, but it's so sunny. It's actually really pretty if you don't go outside. There you go. I'm glad you're with me. We have some interesting topics today that we are going to explore. The first one being that we are going to talk about pointing this direction. Yes. God, it's going to be a good show. It's going to be a good show. Does every intention on the foul equal a PC? Question mark. And also, we are going to film together a reaction video. Have you seen those on YouTube? So literally a YouTuber will watch a YouTuber doing something and they will react to it. And sometimes their videos go more viral than the original video did. So we're pulling out a Hockey Heroes TV video from 3 years ago. I actually thought it was new. Oops. I thought it was new. But we're going to pull that out. We're going to look at it and we're going to react to it as umpires together. It's going to be really fun. And there's always a few things to talk about. A few congratulations to give. First of all, I'd like to thank the following really, really stunningly good-looking people, okay? It's like I forgot. It took 1 minute. 1 minute. Sarah Beard, what a legend, discovers us last week, signs up for the Discord, signs up for Green, just like that. My friends,
How you like that?
that's how you do it. That's how you do it. You're not in this because you're thinking, oh, I'm going to take my time with this. No, you're positive, you're confident, you're a person of action. That's what a person of action does. I really appreciate it. Thanks for joining in, Sarah. And also, I'm always excited when other women join in the gang because the gender representation is a little skewed. I'll just say that. I'd also like to shout out Mr. Lou Raider right here, who upgraded from the older patronage style. I call it the fan level. Green membership, and hiked himself up to the new one where you as a Green member, by the way, get access to the clip library. I was like, you know what? I have this fantastic resource and it's underutilized. So let's overutilize. Let's adequately utilize. Let's terrifically utilize. $7 a month, that's the green. You don't know how hard this is, friends. You really don't. Okay, I'm going to play it again because look at that. Got it right the first time. The second time, the third time. Not only that, but we have our yellow mentoring group. It's a big group. $27 US, and you get a lot of conversations. We have huddles, we have watch parties, we have all kinds of things. And 2 associations signed up this month for a red membership. I am absolutely delighted to welcome them. And with that, I spend time with the associations giving presentations and workshops and helping, just help coordinate umpiring mentorship on the ground. So you can offload the stuff to me, like the clips and the speeches and the classes and that sort of thing, and just get your people on the ground in front of the umpires. So I'm really excited about that. Very delighted. Thank you very much. I will get those names to you later. It's just right now. I'm just letting it soak in. It's just percolating a little bit. There you are. Let's say hi to some people because I'm always amazed every week. I'm like, people actually come and they spend their time with me, with each other. It's very supportive and I love it. And I can't see. There you go. The aforementioned, the legendary Mr. Raider. Thanks for coming. Niels is here. There we go. Rachel, Cabernet Sauvignon, you will be having a Glenfiddich Project 20. That sounds amazing. Do I know? I don't know. Rachel, have you ever drank peanut butter whiskey? Another friend of mine, Dina, who's probably here, one of our moderators, she forced me to buy it and I bought it and I actually kind of like it. Is that okay? Asking for a friend. Stefan, good to have you. Kia ora, very, very nice. Too early, of course. You're in the caffeine. We know what your drug of choice at this particular moment is. You're still busy on school. Oh, Niels, it's been rough. It's been rough. It's going to be nice when you're on some holidays and you can actually relax. There you go. Niels is still in high school, but he's got a physics exam. I mean, dude's kind of smart, by the way. So physics. Good work. You're just heading out for a meal. That sounds really nice. Thank you very much, Simon. Good to have you. And hashtag the boss. Who's that? Who's that? Vicky Vale. Stefan. Okay, as long, at least Rachel and you can have a drink at the hockey fundraiser. Oh, well, there you are. Shane McLeod. Should be a good night. Yes, fantastic. That sounds like it's going to be amazing. And what an opportunity to hear one of the best in the business speak. Gareth Locke, hi. Great to see you. Shane's here. And let's see. What else is going on? Oh, the team in Wellington. Godders is here, of course. Andrew the Flying Kiwi. Matt, I'm still thinking about what you said last week. You said it on Facebook. You said it here. And yet you didn't provide me with any examples of 5 meters that you thought were horrendously terrible. Is this a challenge? Yes, it is. I'm not saying you're wrong. We can talk hypothetically, academically about things that we imagine in our brains all day long, but I like to go with concrete examples. So bring them out for me, Matt. Bring them out. And Yurian is here, of course. The usual flyby. Steve, you got to go coach your goalkeepers. We're delighted that you do so. There you go. Stand by. I thought I was ahead of time, and then I look up and it's 12:01. And I said, what the Sam Hill? I was testing just to make sure that everything was going to go smoothly. I was sitting right here. Right here. Luke's here. 12th Doc and Mr. Scott Riley. There you go. What is... yeah, I'm not super aware of it, but I keep reading about it. It's trending on Twitter right now. There you go. Yes, you did. There she is. There's that girl. Wait. What's the best one? Okay, we'll just play that one. Okay, that might be a little loud. That sound there. Dina with the link. Thank you very much. You too can join the FHU 13. I'm the worst at this, aren't I? But I want everybody to know that there's other stuff that they can do if they want. But if you don't, just come and hang out every week on the YouTubes. All the kids, cool kids are doing it. And Mike, as always, is driving and listening in a car. There you go. Don't forget the mercy. Oh, merch. Okay. Oh, the merch. Yeah. Okay. No, I just want you to be my friends. Okay, I'll start getting on the merch. You're absolutely right. Good call. Thomas, good to have you. Good. Yes. Asterisks. Italics. I think you can do all that formatting in YouTube. I'm pretty sure that's there for you. Oh, you get to go back on the pitch. Good for you. I might this weekend too. I don't think so though. But I might get to play, and that's the important thing. Oh, wait. That graphic is still up there. I was like, wait a minute. What happened to my buy me a coffee? I don't know where it is. You know, you test and you test. And then things just don't happen. There we go. Okay, I'm just going to hide that for now. There we go. Because that's my buy me a coffee link. If you're not ready for long-term commitment, this is a way you can just say, hey, would you like some more tequila? Would you like a rosé tonight? It's on me. And I feel good. And the world is a better place. There you go. Oh, yes. Godders, you've been putting in the hard yards, sir. No question about it. Watch party, huddle. I mean, oh, thank you. Thank you for saying that. I appreciate that. And that's part of it is that I want there to be lots of opportunities. And I don't expect everybody to show up all the time. The only person who has to show up every time is me. I've learned that. That's a really good thing to keep doing. But it's a variety of opportunities. And when your schedule allows, when you have particular issues that you want to address and that sort of thing, I'm here for you. I'm there. Hey, friend. Good to have you, Brian. Really enjoyed our chat earlier. That was fantastic. You'd have to say no. Okay, that's fine. It's not for everybody. Yope's here. Of course, Roger, you are badly multitasking. If Duncan Rezick was here, he would chime in and say that is the only way that we do it. And we being men, I don't generalize like that. I think we're all pretty crappy multitaskers, to be honest. But there you go. But thank you. You're typing on the keyboard instead of the iPad. Okay. Good to know. There you go. And you'll... Okay, don't... It's too early. It's too early to be nice to me. Okay? Wait until I've had some rants, and then I've got some resistance built up. I got residual anger to offset the gushy feelings that come along. I don't need those. Oh, you haven't tried it. Well, you know, there you go. Oh, very sweet. Sam Church, thank you. Okay, I'm caught up. You're here. Let's get into this because I've had some really cool conversations with a few people over the last few days about this because I hope you know by this point, when I'm going into talking about issues and decisions, I really try not to just put myself in a little silo and make things up and say, I shall proclaim. I really am about building the consensus. And this one I wanted some input on. The other fun thing about talking to people about something like, can an intentional foul inside the circle can be an award of a penalty corner? You get all kinds of interesting clues and thoughts that come back from people that lead you into better arguments and a better distillation of the principles. You know, I'm obsessed with them. So that's what we're going to explore a little bit today, because on the weekend, we saw what I thought was an example of a rarely occurring event in the wild. Now, everybody, if you stay still, don't make a sound. This is very ASMR. You may spy at about 3 o'clock a 12.3 C. That's right, friends. 12.3 C. That was awful. I didn't plan that. That's my only excuse. Let's have a look. And let's turn on the sound.
And save again by Crick. The rebound is saved again. Ball is loose now. And Seam will thump it upfield. Well, you would thought that Helvig had a shot there on the rebound, but again, Gowan Jones has been outstanding.
All right, we're looking for a push on number 9 here, Aiden.
Okay, Vanry,
Nine
we're
wide.
looking for an intentional push in the circle.
Yeah.
Okay, noted.
That's Velen's shot.
Okay, watching
Great back for
around
saves by
now.
Yeah.
goalkeeper Jones. That's the push that we're looking for.
Okay.
So he's already on the ground there.
Yeah, I'm happy, Sean. Yeah. Vanry, I have a decision for you. There's an intentional push in the circle. You may award a penalty stroke for a professional foul.
For intentional.
Okay. So we'll go back, we'll look at replays, we'll do all that kind of stuff. But right now, I would love to hear on your first reactions what you are seeing and how you process that event. Okay. What I'll take you to, there's two things before I actually get into the rule. I recall in the last week or 2 weeks on the YouTubes, and you can feel free to go digging. It was, I actually think it was last week's session. Is that when we talked about the Belgium, Argentina, and that video referral for a penalty stroke? I'm pretty sure we did. And a commenter was of the opinion that that particular foul should be a penalty corner and a card. I'm not sure why, because as my reply said rather glibly, that doesn't exist. And I realized as I was working on this session that actually that's flat out wrong. The way that I said it in that context, I could have gotten away with it, but really, I did not flesh out that idea the way that I needed to, because spoiler alert, you can have the combination of a penalty corner and a personal penalty being awarded for an intentional foul or for any foul inside the circle. Now, one person did respond. I don't know if Christian ever watches the YouTubes, but he did just join the Discord. So thank you, Christian. Good to have you. And this is what he replied on the Facebooks. And he said, you can receive a card, green, yellow, red, and only have a penalty corner. It's sufficient that the intentional foul is made outside the action of playing the ball and doesn't prevent the possibility of scoring a goal. For example, a defender and attacker on the other side of the D of the action jostle, and the defender hits the attacker with his stick. That's a penalty corner and a red card. Okay? And Christian, all respect, but I'm going to change the language of this, because I don't believe that that's actually that doesn't accurately reflect how we want to look at these fouls. Okay? And here's the reasoning. Fouls, by definition, have to be actions against an opponent that disadvantage them. In order for a team penalty to be awarded, there has to be disadvantage that occurs. Now, yes, you can say, well, getting hit with a stick is painful and it's dangerous and it's mean. So that's disadvantageous. No, what we're looking for is disadvantage vis-a-vis the actual outcome of the play. It is stopping that person from doing something cool on the pitch. That is not, to me, an example where you could award the team penalty and as a penalty corner and a red card at the same time. That's simply a standalone red card. That is misconduct off the ball. You deal with that off the ball. But there's nothing that disadvantages the team such that they need a penalty corner to redress, to rebalance the scales of justice, because that level of scoring opportunity was taken away by the actions of that defender. So, nay, sir, I would argue that that is not actually the situation. But what we see in this particular instance is one that we can award, and for me, that we should be awarding a penalty corner and a personal penalty. Before I get into my rationale, what say you? What say you? Is it B or C? Did I say the wrong one? I'm not sure. Okay, Godders, there you go. See, I kind of feel like I have to tell some people not to answer first. But I get it. For Matt, PC for an intentional offense in the circle by a defender against an opponent who does not have possession of the ball or an opportunity to play the ball. You know what? If you're going to cite the rules like that, let's just look at the rule. Let's do this. Okay. Oh, you know what we haven't been doing? Playing music in the background. I was like, why is it so quiet? Y'all aren't talking back to me. Yes, you are. No music. So what he's looking at, yes, it is B. My bad. Thank you, Rachel. An intentional foul, an intentional offense in the circle by a defender against an opponent who does not have possession of the ball or an opportunity to play the ball. Now, I play a little game in all of my certification courses where I ask the attendees, all right, name the 5 reasons penalty corners are called. And I get feet, stick, and I'm like, no. And then try to very clumsily lead them on to, well, with an unintentional foul against an attacker in the circle. Okay, like any attacker, like what if they don't have the ball? Anyway, this sub B, despite the fact it's the second one in the list, not the third one, the second one in the list is the one that we don't think about very often because it's a rare beast. It's a rare bird. And we want to be very quiet so we don't scare it away. And here's the reasoning for this. So when I was talking to one of my friends about this particular issue, I wanted to work through the reasoning, because on the other side of the argument that a penalty corner isn't enough, and in fact a penalty stroke is the correct award because they had an opportunity, they would have been able to play the ball that got sent along afterwards, but for that push. I started to go to the other side, and it leads me into what Christian said on my Facebook page, which is, well, there's a difference between, there has to be, 2 different or 3 different situations where a foul is disadvantageous, but it's not against a player who has likely possession of the ball or an opportunity to play the ball in the moment of the foul. Otherwise, that clause would not exist. And if everything is disadvantageous, then we have no reason to never give that team penalty. I explained that really badly. So, can somebody fix that for me? Like, just write something in the comments, because that was, it was so smart yesterday and it just came out poorly. And you know what I do when these moments happen? I look at your comments because they help. Okay. Off the ball in the D is a penalty corner. An appropriate personal penalty. I'm guessing this is a penalty stroke for the foul against the player with likely possession. No, it was actually determined that it was the push that was the problem, not the player who was passing the ball. So if we go back to the replay here, it's not the player who's along the end line who's attempting, because there is no foul there. It's definitely the guy on the ground reaching his arms, in supplication, please give me relief, he says, and give me a referral. Paul, a foul gives to player with opportunity to play the ball is a penalty stroke if intentional. Okay, and that, Paul, is the crux of the issue. Does this player have an opportunity to play the ball? So I'm going to pause it right at the moment where the foul occurs. Okay, here it comes. Boom. Oops. Damn it. I don't know why that didn't work. Oh, that's very interesting. It's just not responding to my demands. Okay, let's try this again. Let's play this back. Let's see if I can do this properly now. Okay. That is after the fouls occurred, or after the push. Yes, after the fouls occurred. And the player's falling down, and the pass has not been released yet. Now, there's a lot of things that could happen here. This player could tuck the ball back into the defender who's right close to him, he's in a very, vulnerable defensive position. He could play it straight at the defender who's in front of him. He could attempt a poor pass at goal. He could take 2 more steps, cut the angle, and look for his friend who is not being marked very well just in front of the goalkeeper to try to get a close 2-meter tap in. There's a lot of possibilities that exist at this moment. And yes, one of the possibilities is the pass that goes across the circle. Now, would he have, as it turns out, that ball does hit it off the defender's stick, and it goes up in the air, and it's deflected off in a different angle. So who knows what would happen? Sliding doors. But if you believe that that is likely possession of the ball, I think you're in a tough spot to ever find a situation where a player doesn't have likely possession of the ball. To me, that is too generous. It's too wide of a standard to apply to that. And the reason for this is because at the end of the day, in that moment, does your hockey gut tell you that a penalty stroke worthy opportunity was taken away? Was that moment, this moment here, was it equivalent to a player with no defenders other than a goalkeeper who has to start on the line stationary? No pressure, everything's stationary. Was that type of opportunity taken away by that foul? And I know that we have the language in the rule book is much more black and white than that. But when we have another option, when we have a decision to make as to whether something is likely possession or not, would that not be informed by this? Was that truly likely possession of the ball? In that moment, I don't believe it was. And I think we can get into a conversation in a second about why this call is very rarely given, this particular one. I remember I had this happen to me in indoor probably a decade ago. And my friend and fellow alum from the Dinos, Deanne Radford, just hilarious person. I was umpiring her and her team, and as the ball was moving around the far side of the circle, Dee realized that her player had beaten her. She wasn't in a good marking position. And she says, "Oh, No, not that one. Wait. I don't know how to... Oh, and grabs onto her jersey. And it stops her up. And then the ball comes across the circle after that. And she was laughing all the way to the bench where I sent her for her suspension. And I awarded a penalty corner on that play. And that to me feels very, very similar. But it was almost like if it hadn't happened right in front of my nose, and the ball on the far side of the circle was still in that same line, I wouldn't have, I likely could have missed it, is what I'm saying. So these are the events that we don't see often enough, and we haven't actually had a lot of experience calibrating what that likely possession of the ball is. So do we have lots of information and lots of discussions and guidance on this topic? No, we don't. It's pretty rare. So that, my friends, are some of my thoughts. Your first thought, it would have been a penalty corner for an intentional foul against a player who doesn't have the ball. It's close to him having the opportunity to play it. Yes. So I'm not saying this is black and white whatsoever, and I could be absolutely wrong. And the effect that watching this in slow motion may have may make it look more like the two events are separate, because in slow-mo it's like takes a long time for that ball to get there. But I'll tell you that when I watched this in real time, I was like, oh my God, that's a penalty corner and a card. Dope. I get excited about things that don't happen very often. So that was my immediate reaction in real time, not after having watched the slow motion replay. But of course you watch it a few times and I think it kind of bolsters it up. But the card is the card is for the misconduct. That's physical, it's dangerous. It wouldn't surprise me if that had come out to a 10-minute. In this game where there was a lot of physical play, I think that probably wouldn't have been the way that it would have gone. It would have gone to a 5-minute yellow because they needed more room to go with that. But there you go. Stefan, you agree with the card in the PC. You like the umpire allowed it to play out just in case it may have been advantageous. Yes, and that very well could have been it. And as the ball was exiting, you can hear in her dialogue, she's got the player right in front of her anyway, and so she's able to she's able to say, yep, okay, you want the referral, okay, yep, got it. And she's waiting to see what the outcome might be. So yes, I do like that. Your first instinct is a penalty corner and a yellow card as well. So Lou, that isn't in the criterion. So when we go to the rules, and this is why I put the rules up every week, because there isn't anything that says that there has to be a possibility of scoring. That could inform our how strict of an interpretation we give this rule, but it's not the grounds, okay? Because people get confused from that and sub A, very different. An offense by a defender in the circle which does not prevent the probable scoring of a goal. Yes, I'm frozen. What the Sam Hill? I'm going to have to examine this. What I'm thinking about, I think my brain's just getting confused between the wording of the grounds on which we award a penalty stroke. And I'm just going to pull them up really quickly. Because again, I think it's important that when you have doubts when your brain is going at 1,000,000 miles an hour and you're not sure, we have this. It's an open book test, okay? We are able to pull out the rule books and refer to them. And this is why I know the rules as well as I do. And I still don't assume that I know the rules. I still try to take every opportunity that I can to go back to them. So a penalty stroke, an offense by a defender in the circle which prevents the probable scoring of a goal. So that is where that comes from. An offense in the circle, which is does. Did they screw this up? What? Okay. Okay. I'm going to do this on the fly. I have concerns. Source. No. Dummy. Okay. Camera. Overlay. New screen share overlay. Got it. Okay. Do we have some inception? We may. Okay. I am going to get this. I'm just doing this right in front of you because why not? Preview. Oh my goodness, you guys. Please stop me. If I'm on drugs right now, please stop me. But I have concerns. I have concerns about what it is that I am seeing in front of my eyes. So I'm just trying to make that look a little better. They copied the same text between 12.3a and 12.4a. Where's my sound effect? I don't... Okay. So in order to further prove this or straighten this out, I feel like I'm going crazy. Am I going crazy? Is it me? I don't know. I'm going to pull out the very last iteration just before that. Okay, that's that rules of hockey. This is this rules of hockey. Okay, you can see which one I'm looking at. 2021 update of the 2019 rules. Oops, went too far. This is high drama, folks. This is drama. This is what streaming's all about. 9. Why can't I do... What the hell? Okay. Am I on drugs? Which does not. (2019) And then I think I figured it out. I'm so sorry, but my brain collapses when this happens. Which prevents the probable scoring of a goal. Okay. You know what? I think I know what my problem is with this, is that I'm expecting to see the language of unintentional. But the point being, now that I've gone through that exercise and I've got everything straightened out in my head, thank you very much for playing along. I appreciate it. That the point, getting back to what Lou said, if I can scroll up and if I can find his comment. Can I find it? I'm rattled, friends. I'm rattled. My brain just exploded onto myself. That foul not related to possible scoring play. The intentional foul does not have to be related to a potential scoring opportunity. Just because that language is only in sub A and is not in sub B, and we get this wrong all the time. Intentional fouls under 12.4 for an intentional offense in this circle by a defender against an opponent who has possession of the ball or an opportunity to play the ball. There is no line that says, and it's a goal scoring opportunity. Okay? We impute that incorrectly. The intention is enough. Okay? Reckless as to the result. Every time. Phew. Okay. I think I got that. Let me go back to your comments. Get anchored again. There you go. Definitely a yellow card for Scott. Regulations your level requires a what? The regulation, you don't think that the regulations at your level require a penalty stroke with a personal penalty in the circle. And you think that's right. So the things aren't automatically linked together. Yeah, I sure hope not, because that would change the rules. That's not. Yeah, that's interesting. Matt, it happened to you 2 weeks ago during one of your matches. The attacking team wanted a stroke, so the rules were explained and the penalty corner was agreed. Not that disagreed. But you persuaded them. Good work. Well, that's terrific. Yope, the ball came later to the player in the foul. So the likely possession comes after the foul. That would be my argument. But I can sort of, yeah. I can see the other side to that. Hello, ridiculously good-looking people. Mr. Nick. Krikanivsky. I think I got it. Yes, Thomas, you should have used clear language. Okay, the player who pushed is passed to by the, yeah. Yeah, that is the penalty stroke reason. And what we're saying is, in my view, he didn't have likely possession of the ball. Therefore, he's a player who has been disadvantaged. So a foul has occurred, but he was not in likely possession of the ball. Therefore, it's 12.B, 12.3B. Therefore, penalty corner. Yeah, you can't award a penalty stroke because you think he will pass to him. And that's the kind of separation that we're looking for. And who knows, you know, a savvy player will be like, oh, my dude's got pushed, so I'm going to push the ball in his direction, and that'll mean we get awarded a penalty stroke. No. You can be persuaded to a penalty stroke in slow-mo. No, the other way around. The other way around, Stefan. I don't know. My brain. I read funny, Stefan, because my brain is something. That's me. You think shot on goal going wide, but touches the defender's foot. Yep. Sort of. Except that's an unintentional foul. It's important. Don't get those confused. Yes, right. So the unintentional foul. Thank you, Matt. When you use that particular sequence of words, because an unintentional foul where a goal was probable is a penalty stroke under. Wait, wrong button. Under 12.4A. Yes. You were probably screaming this at your screen and I wasn't listening at the time. Yes, does not. Thank you, Rachel. And you were probably screaming as well. I don't know what it was. Ian's here, though. Everything's fine. Whew. Ian, if you'd shown up on time, that whole thing wouldn't have happened. My brain would not have exploded. It's because I imitated David Attenborough and karma. Yes. Is that wine? It will be very shortly. As soon as I close this stream, it's going to be wine. Yes, exactly. That's what I should have done very early. Okay. There you go. Ask the questions. Is it intentional? Does it prevent a probably scoring? Does it prevent opportunity to play the ball? Yep, really good, Rachel. Thank you for that. The difference is intentional as offense rather than just offense. Yeah, and it's... why had I always... See, there you go. Nailed it.
How you like that?
There you go. Does a foul equal an offense? Well, that's a great question. Let's look at that. Because you'll notice that the wording in the rules is always an offense. Okay? It's an offense, intentional offense. And when, you know, an offense by a defender in the circle, you can't see my... Right. Does this work? This does work. Okay, so for an offense. So it's always an offense is the wording. Did that add anything to the stream? Absolutely. I got to draw on my iPad. That's what it added to the stream. But when we go up and we look at the definitions section, okay, you'll notice now that they're alphabetical, by the way, you'll notice that there is no, whoops. Look, I'm like a weather person, okay? Ooh, right there, that should be where foul is, according to the alphabet. I got that one right today. But it's not there, but the word is offense, okay? And that's important because an offense is defined. An action against an opponent, contrary to the rules, which may be penalized by an umpire. And then in 12.1, I mean, maybe, but maybe I'm imagining things. At this point, who knows what I'm getting right and wrong? Crisis of confidence. Okay, penalty awarded only when a player or team has been disadvantaged by an opponent breaking the rules. Okay, so you kind of put those things together, inconsistency in the language. It should be an offense. When a player or team has been disadvantaged by an opponent committing an offense. Committing an offense. That would sharpen commit. An offense. There you go. I'm writing on my face. If I were drafting the rulebook, that's what I'd be looking for. It's exactly that. Yep. But that's the thing. I mean, I kind of just said an offense has to, under the definitions, an offense doesn't even have to be disadvantageous. That language comes in 12.1. An offense just could. An offense could. It may be penalized by an umpire. Who knows? They give us that out in case we don't see it, which is very nice of them, but still very interesting. Wait, do that again. You can't read Canadian. I can't write either. So, like, let's call it a draw. Because my writing is there. Okay. I write my signature. That's the only thing I write these days. Exactly. But we only penalize actions because 12.1 picks that up and says, yeah, but you're not going to penalize every offense, but you're going to penalize actions that disadvantage the opposing team. There you go. Okay. Really interesting. Any other questions on that one? Oh my goodness. I was like, that was 15 minutes that I got confused on. But no, that has not been 15 minutes, friends. That has been a thorough length of time. And if you find it entertaining watching me draw on a screen, don't forget, you could join the FHumpires Discord and see me do all kinds of crazy things. And people make fun of me all the time. The bants actually really are good. They're fun. And I appreciate the fact that everybody joins in and justifiably call me out when I'm silly. So much appreciated. Oh, you know, there's a battle of, would you say pedantry or pedantry? Oh my. Pedantry. Well, you're a pedant and something's pedantic. But pedantry sounds a lot better. Interesting. And then we just start using words all over the place in ways that are going to be there. Thank you very much. Don't forget to... No, I liked it the first way better. That was very cute. There you go. And smashing the like button. Really appreciate that encouragement. Okay, let's go on to the next one and see how confused I can get under the rules for topic number 2. So this came up in my YouTube feed.
Hi, Lawrence! Hi, Thomas. Hi, Dennis. And today we're gonna do some bullies. Bully, you are ugly.
If you haven't watched the Hockey Heroes, I can't decide. Like, they're equally silly and ridiculous and good at the same time. So I mean, I watch these things with a lot of amusement, but I really do. I take lots of drills and skill development tips from these folks. So I adore that. But this one caught my eye because in this video, they're instructing how to win at a bully. And so I think this is Paul, and I think he's just explaining why you would give a bully. So I want you to watch this. Oops. I want you to watch this without me ruining it.
We both put our sticks on the ground. Yeah. You tap once in the air. And then we can try to get the ball and play it for us. So you need to be really fast. Yeah. That's basically a bully. Then we can play on. But there are a few techniques, and we're going to show 3 of them in which you can easily take the ball of your opponent in a bully situation. I don't know if it's called a bully, by the way, but if it's called something else, it's this. You just saw it. It's this.
Okay, so my first reaction is they get the signal right, which a lot of people don't. A lot of people still think it's the down, up, and they might even do it 3 times. Down, up, down, up. No. It's this, which actually doesn't resemble a bully whatsoever. So it's kind of a crazy signal, but that's the way it's described in the rulebook. So here's technique 1.
Don't tell him, otherwise he knows.
Let's do that in slow-mo.
Version number 1. Normally, you both get your stick up in the air and then try to get the ball. But you need to go down. So the sticks need to touch above the ball, which is the official rule. So what you can do is, instead of tilting it over the ball, sliding it next to the ball, so your stick still touches in the air, but now I have the advantage that my stick is closer to the ball and I can use it.
You can see, I think he's the goalkeeper.
Advantage. You guys want to try?
Advantage.
You guys want to try?
Okay, so watch them demo this a few more times.
I'll just do the normal way. and you'll always be faster. That's version number 1.
Okay, friends. What do you think? I found that quite interesting. Very interesting. Here are the rules, by the way. Now, these are the outdoor rules, but I also have the indoor rules just to make sure. So we can skip through A and B. The 2 players start with their sticks on the ground to the right of the ball. And they tap the flat faces of their sticks together once, just over the ball, after which either player is permitted to play the ball. Does that tip comply with sub-clause C? Answers on a postcard. Tell me everything. Tell me how you're feeling. I can still doodle on the screen. I've got official permission from Stefan, so here we go. So we are focused on this. That's what we're looking at. Good point. They do fail to talk about how they're how they have to face each other with the goal they are defending to their right. So their shoulders have to be a little more pointed. But to be fair, they're filming and they're trying to, like, they start setting up correctly and then they kind of tilt themselves because that's where the camera was. So we're gonna give them a pass on that one. That isn't the important part. Dennis in orange 2 is a goalkeeper, yes. Thomas who's a half finds it funny. Yeah, there you go. You're not sure if you can keep your stick on the ground, but you cannot touch the other. Okay, that's point 2, Yope. I'm taking your comment off the screen. Look, friend, if y'all are gonna read ahead, stick not on top of the ball. Okay, so let's go back to the language. They tap the fat faces. They tap the flat faces of their sticks together just once over the ball. Does that constitute tapping their sticks over the ball? Does it say that the heel of the stick has to rise over the top of the ball? Or does it say that only the tap has to be over the ball? Because if I go back to the demonstration of how it happens, okay, they'll get there in a sec. Okay, that's taking the heel of the stick, but the tap, when he gets the stick over, the tap is happening over the ball. The sticks are tapping over the ball. It doesn't say that you have to tap the flat portion of your stick. It doesn't say you can't use the toe, you can't use the heel, you can't use whatever words you want to describe. It doesn't dictate, the rule does not dictate what area of the stick has to be tapped or has to be tapped. Verily indeed. Have I had lessons from Daniel Day-Lewis? I'm not sure. I'd be better. Oh, wait. Allie's here. Hey, friend. Sneaky. Is the flat face defined as only the head of the stick? That's a great question. And for Niels, nope, it's everything you're allowed to play the ball with, I think. Well, let's go find out. Because I've already, spent some time doing this, and I have the rules all available, so why not? Let's go see what the flat face of the stick is. And this is the fun part, is that we have to go all the way down. Okay, this is easier. Instead of making you delirious. Wait, Wait. 32, 30. Oh my goodness. Umpiring skills? No. Here we go. Field and field equipment. Okay. Field and field equipment.
Drop!
I'm just going to hit it random sound effects until it covers up the fact that I'm having a great time today. That's how we're going to phrase it. Okay, so we're going to skip ahead to the part in this section of the rulebook that talks about the stick itself. Let's do it. We've talked about this, like the whole description of the stick and how it's kind of a mess. But here we go. Here we go, friends. Wait. Okay. It's 12:12 down here. Is that big enough to see? I think I can make this bigger. I can make this bigger and I can remove my face. That's probably the best outcome for everybody. Okay. The flat playing side of the head. It doesn't say flat face, but the flat playing side of the head of the stick, and any continuation along the handle must be smooth. Okay. Things can be bent. Any curvature. The head of the stick is defined as this. The stick, any curvature. I know there's language in here that drives me crazy. This part, the edges and the non-playing side of the stick. Doesn't say the round side of the stick. Nope. It says it must be rounded though. Must be. Okay, so the edges and the non-playing side back of the stick must be rounded. Flat sections along the edge of the back are not permitted. So you don't really get a nice, tidy definition of what the flat part of the stick is, which is always problematic. Like, come on, friends. Again, this would make things very handy. The flat faces of their sticks. So, Allie, your point, your argument is potentially, is the face the flat playing side of the stick, or is it only, can the face be defined as part of the head? Really? The head of the stick is laid, blah, 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 blah. So you don't see any. And actually, I'm going to do a search. See, this is what we can do with technology. I'm going to do a search for the word face. Face masks, face mask, face mask, face mask. The face side. So we found a obscure reference to the word face. It's flat on its left side. Stick is smooth. Must be able to pass through a 51 millimeter ring. Curvature. And any curvature must occur along the face side or the back of the stick, but not both. What? I don't even know what that means. Okay, that's surface. That's how you play a bully. Face in any direction, face mask. I thought this was all be order. The surface. But those are the only place, that's the only place where a face is mentioned. Other than in the bully rule. That they face each other and they tap the flat faces of their sticks. So, I don't know. Are they being drawn with a foot? You know, Nick, sometimes I realize that you're not a nice person. You know? You're making me feel really bad about myself today. I don't need that kind of help. I don't need that. Okay. No illegal. It's illegal. A stick is not, you know, but the contact is made over the ball. Okay. You think the tapping is happening over the ball, so yes. There you go. Everything you're allowed to play with the ball, says Neil about the face thing. So Ali says, yeah, there you go. Dutchy McDutch, I love it. Okay, come on, dude, because he's a lawyer as well. Technically, it's tapped above the ball. Whether it's tapped in a way consistent with the spirit and intention of the rule could be debated. Well, yes. What is the spirit and intention of a bully anyway? I'll leave you with that rhetorical question while I sip my tea. Both sticks could remain on the floor as long as they make contact with the ball. Is that true? It doesn't say anything. It says they start with their sticks on the ground and then tap the flat faces. So they could literally have their sticks on the ground to the right of the ball. They could both then just angle the sticks over the ball and then play. There's nothing about raising their sticks off the ground by the height of the ball or more. It doesn't say anything like that. So yeah, I think this, I'm proclaiming it right now. Oh, it's tricky.
Drop!
This is the truth bomb. I'm dropping my verdict. I think this is legal. Yeah, and it's undefined. Is the face the same as the playing side of the stick? Who knows? Mike, thank you. You're going to get to this in a second. The geometry of the action appears to comply. It just doesn't look fair. No, if one player does it and the other one doesn't, yeah, there's an advantage there. But really, can we penalize that? I don't think we can. I don't think we can. She's thinking to herself. Oops, sorry. I skipped your comment. If the player with the stick on the floor doesn't get their stick in line with the ball in time and is still to the right of it, then the tap doesn't happen over the ball. Yeah? Yeah, and how strict are we with over the ball? Oh, goodness. I looked up in the... Sorry. I'm okay. I looked up into the sunlight. Don't ever do that during a live stream, friends. Hot tip. Don't try to read the rules of the penalty corners and strokes. Stay away from 12.3 and 12.4, and do not look into the sunshine. His toe stick is on the ground. I think it has to be an even restart. You don't think it's on top of the ball, but it doesn't say that the stick has to be on top of the ball. I hear what you're saying, but we are applying our legal brains to this. And there you go. No, it's good. Unless he leans the stick forward, his tap is not on top of the ball. Okay. The tap is over the ball. And are we looking for like the diameter of the ball, and the tap has to occur within... Somebody look up the ball dimensions for me quickly. Does it have to be within that narrow width? And that plane then extends up into the air, and if it's not there, I mean, if the tap happens like way back, because the player isn't even addressing the ball, and their stick is a meter behind the ball, and the tap happens there, that's not a bully. Because yeah, that's too far. But how close does it have to be? I wonder. I mean, let's face it. The thing that really took me, and I was so intrigued by this video, was the fact that I'm sure I wouldn't see any of this. Because what's the one thing that we have the least practice at calling in all of this entirety of the rule book? This bully. Very, very little practice. Because how many times do we have to award one in a season? And then how many times are we actually even looking for an offense? We're just blowing our whistle and hoping that, we don't ever have to do it again. It has to say non-playing because otherwise it would be saying the round side must... Yeah, okay. Yeah, you're right. I know. Is that the one that I found? I hope it was. Using the term as part of the different... Absolutely, which is terrible legal drafting. I get it. The way it's mentioned there implies the opposite of the backside of the stick. So it sounds like the face is the entire flat surface. Yeah, and that would be my argument because, man, anything else would be really tough to deal with. Sticks used to be lifted when the 3 taps were required. It looks like you could do it legally now without lifting. I wonder if the way it was worded back then, though, Godders, actually required that lifting, or if that was just the accepted way that we did it. Bully 1, Bully 2, Bully 3, apparently, is how they chanted it in Australia. I keep hearing that as if it's a universal truth by Matt Allen and John Lee of the reverse stick, and I say, I've never heard that before. I don't know what nonsense you guys are talking about. If you've heard that, tell me in the comments, because I think that's not true. And the faces are generally... But no. The head of the stick is defined, but the face is not defined. Faces are generally on human heads. That's a jump. That is a jump. I don't hate it, but it's a bit of a interpretive leap. Huh. The head of a pin. Is there a face to that? Find me another example where that's generalized. If you can think of another example, I will accept that argument. Not necessarily as persuasive, but I will accept it as valid. Okay? That's my criterion. Maybe on humans and other animals. Yeah, 224 millimeters. So basically 2.2 centimeters in width, and that's what we're gonna... I know you keep saying the same thing, Stefan, but that doesn't... I don't think so, and we can't tell. Because we don't have a side-on view as to the plane of it, but it looks fine. Thank you. Yes! Let's just bloody well get rid of them. Or just change how they're done. So if you listen to the last episode, I don't know, 219, whatever the most recent episode of the reverse stick is, and if you haven't seen the reverse stick, if you haven't seen the reverse stick podcast, you should listen. Okay, if you haven't listened to the reverse stick podcast, they're in the 200s of episodes and they just keep plugging along. And they do have some interesting points they make throughout, and then there's just a lot of really funny things that happen as well. But they were talking about how the bully does need to get changed because the current bully is boring and weird and it just doesn't feel like anything. And they were mulling the idea over, I don't think very seriously, about how ice hockey face-offs, the style of those, that's very exciting. And I'm like, yeah, not if you're actually, really an ice hockey fan. They're not exciting. They're an essential part of the game because they're hotly contested and possession can be won with the ball. Sorry, I'm talking about, sport puck, ice sport puck, and I'm getting confused. You can get possession of the puck and, you could take an immediate shot on goal. You could take a shot right off the face-off without even passing it back to a teammate or forward to a teammate or anything like that. But they can turn into big scoring opportunities. So face-off wins is a category of stats that are tracked in matches, in ice hockey games. I grew up with this sport, and I feel like I'm talking about something I've never seen before. That's the circumference. Oh. Okay, circumference, and it's not much difference anyway. There you go. You have an old book in your bag? Why do you have an old book? You need a new book. I know. Okay, so, but I think what we've decided, it's small. The front of the stick handle on the playing side, even though it's round and not flat, the front of the stick handle. Yeah, there's that too. It gets confusing. Wait. I don't even know what's... Circle foul, PC defiant, Keely honkin', foot drawing, brain bending, weekly rantin'. You forgot that just you need something in there that describes me getting completely lost in the rules. Stick tapping, bully rapping, snapping, sneeze snotting. Oh, Jesus, foul dropping Wednesday. If we get rid of bullies, how do we start the game when there's been no offense or penalties? Well, in basketball, they have a possession arrow. So they alternate. And the possession arrow just... One of those events occurs. I don't remember exactly why possession arrows ever... What the criterion is. What triggers the possession arrow. No, I can't remember. But anyway, that's how they do it. So they have the contested tip-off in some situations, but in then others, it's just an alternating possession arrow. And I think, if I'm remembering this right, I think that's more what happens... Now my nose is running. What's happening? I think that happens when there isn't any kind of foul or reason to give one team the ball or over the other. So yeah, possession arrow. Problem solved. You're welcome. 2002 rules. Thank you, Mike. Getting back. This is the kind of exploration I like. Specify the sticks and ground must be tapped alternately. And that was before the bully was reformed. Aha. Okay, so the ground had to be tapped too. You can't tap the ground if your stick is already on it. You must de facto, ergo ipso facto. I'm not using that right. Don't at me. Don't at me. You don't even have to raise, or you have to, okay, yes. And they removed that language. So if you apply the legal interpretation principle of whatever it meant when you removed a clause which meant now that was explicitly permitted, because the implication is it was implicitly permitted because by removing the prohibition, you are now granting permission. Some kind of constrained hit. Yeah, you just alternate it. But the problem is it happens so seldomly in our game. So if possession arrow, if you did a coin toss at the beginning of the game to decide who the possession arrow goes with, and I can't remember how they even settle the possession arrow at the beginning of a basketball game. I don't know enough about this. I have a friend who does, though. I have a friend named Greg Austin who is a basketball referee expert, and he does a live stream kind of like this. He's better looking than me, but he does this stream and he talks through scenarios and he puts up footage of basketball games. I'm going to ask Greg and he's going to tell me. See? You draw on your resources. Oh, they hope you don't bring a possession arrow. Oh, yes. Well, as technical people, yes. It's another thing to keep track of for jump balls. Right. Is it when they're like all grabbing the ball together and it's like the push when you get in the push trap in indoor and you're just pushing and nothing can happen, and then we call a bully, and then they're grabbing the ball and they're all just kind of wrestling it away from each other, but nobody's actually fouling each other somehow. Now do that rant. Yes, sounds like Dwayne. Yes, I'd like to hear that said in The Rock's voice, mostly because I really like The Rock, but most of the time we have an umpire mistake to need to stop for an injury. Effectively, the ball returned to the team in possession. Yeah, like we're smart enough to do that, but okay. But I think currently, until there's interpretation or guidance that comes out that says that the stick must be raised off the ground, I think that works. That's what I say. Okay, let's see if I can get to the number 2.
Let's do that in slow-mo.
Let's do this. But you need to go down. So the stick.
Okay. So here's the next one.
Don't tell him, otherwise he knows.
Let's do that in slow-mo.
Let's do this. Version number 1. Normally, you both
wait.
putting it next to the ball, so you stick
Sorry,
it
this is
next
the one
to
we
the. You
already
guys want to
did.
try? You guys want to try?
Okay, and now he
So
steps
version
up.
number 2 is
Version
quite similar to the basic one. Normally you just step it in the air, but instead of going flat to flat, you already turn your stick to your back stick, because then go down and you can immediately get the ball. So on speed, and I got it.
Slow-mo.
Yes, come on.
Up against you.
Okay, what do y'all think? Yope, you cannot answer. You are banned from answering. Nope, 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 says Luke. Nope, nope, nope. Okay, I don't know if he's gone on to the next. I'm just gonna pause that. Nope, nope, nope. Right. It's not tricky, so I'm not gonna play that. And I think, wait, do I have it? I do. Okay, and now that we've spent all this time, why did it take me so long? This is such a mess. There we go. That was very challenging. Not legal. The flat faces must make contact with each other. Yes. No, you're fine. I'm totally kidding. It's just because you knew what was going to happen. Flat faces. Nope. Nope. Hell no. Right? I'm pretty sure that I've missed this. I'm just going to throw it out there and I'm going to say, you know what? I have called indoor bullies and I bet this has happened and I have absolutely failed to detect it. Why not? I'm just going to throw it out there. I'm a human being. But it's good to know. Just underline the words. I'm trying, okay? So, hockey heroes. Technique number 2, illegal. Stop teaching the kids how to do illegal things. Illegal things. Stop it.
Yes, come on.
Up against you.
Smarty, hey, smarty.
So highly contested. And I think what we can say very effectively at this point is the reason that that's an issue is because when you, not only is it just technically the round side of the stick being used to tap over the bully, but by sliding down from that round side, you are effectively stick shielding. So you're committing an obstruction right in that moment at the same time. And it's the round side of the stick that allows you to do so. You could stick shield without doing it, but it's harder to play the ball back. Right after that. Thanks, Shane. Well, yeah, I mean, we will, but are we going to see it? I don't know. I don't know. It's hard. Okay, so let's look at number 3.
3 of cheats to get a bully and win it for yourself.
Cheats.
You tap up in the air just the normal way. You let the opponent win the ball. Yeah. And then once he carries it back, you immediately go after it with your stick. So instead of trying to get it your way, you tap in the air and you try to sweep it away.
Let's hear what you think.
Slow-mo.
It's version number 3. Dennis, do you want to try it against Poplar?
Yes. Oké, mag jij hem bouwen? I don't think that was a good one.
No, this was payback for the last one.
I let him win. I let him win.
So, in short, those are 3 ways in which
You're
can,
trying to get into position
not
before
sort of
play
cheat a little
continues.
bit because it is a
That's kind of interesting because I think one of the important... So you want to get in position. So what you're saying is you're too far away from the bully at that point because you've gotten into an advanced position up the court. I guess that's possible, but I hope that you could still see this. And actually, it might be easier to see it if you're not that close to it. The closer you are to a moving object, the harder it is to pick it out. Because there's just too much movement. But if you step back, you've got, I think, a better chance at seeing all this stuff. Why are they doing that? Why are they dancing so weirdly? Let's see what you have. Right. So, Scott, I'm trying to envision what Joop's point is there about being there. The sweep looks illegal to you. That's okay, says Stefan. It's just a shave tackle. It could become a backstick very easily. And no reason why not, says Steve. So this to me is the situation like that. Was it? No, because that was the back edge of the stick. Sorry. Brain not helping me today. But yes, it's a sweep with the edge of the stick that could, as Lou points out, be a backstick. But at this point, the way that he's executing it, he's okay. And yes, there's nothing wrong with it as long as it's not a hit. So as long as it's not a backswing towards it, it has to be a... So when you say the words sweep, remember that a sweep is defined under the outdoor rules as a hit. So be careful about that. It's a sweeping motion-ish, but what I like to say, it's just a push. It's either a push or it's a hit. So to me, this is a push with the edge of the stick that has a long follow through. Now, what the problem could end up being is if there's too much of a backswing and more than 50 centimeters, and that ends up being a hit. I hope that makes sense. Yeah, absolutely, Joop. So Joop's talking just like I was guessing, that he would get into a better position instead of standing over the bully to make sure it proceeds. But Joop, I hope, like I was saying, it's something to experiment with. Can you see that better? Can you see the stick actions better when you're a little further away? We think we have to be right up close, but do we? But do we? Yeah, okay. As did I at first. It's definitely been a Keeley hour. You're absolutely right. You're swimming indoors, then must be a push outdoors. Doesn't matter. Yeah. Not sure if our discussion is reviewing the indoor procedure or the outdoors. Oh, that's a good point. Okay. I guess I would, yeah. Yeah, I mean, if it's outdoors, then we're all good. Absolutely. Good point. Thank you, Rachel, for that clarification. That really helps. Absolutely. When does a bully end, actually, and a hit is not allowed anymore? It's not that a hit isn't allowed in a bully, it's that a hit isn't allowed in indoor. So it doesn't matter when the bully ends in indoor, because it's never allowed to hit. But really good points, Rachel. That probably led the discussion off on the wrong direction. And you know what? I'm going to do this now because I forgot. I'm a terrible human being. When I thanked all the green people, the new green people, Lou and Sarah, for joining in, and for some reason, I did not press this graphic. But I'm going to do it again next week at the beginning of the show. But let me do it now because I would like to congratulate Mike McCartney, who only went out and passed his level 3 MPUA assessment. I don't think he's here, so I'm going to clip this and I'm going to send it to him, or I'm going to post it on the Discord, and I'm going to pretend that I remembered to do it at the beginning. Do you think anybody's going to notice? So big congratulations, Mike. It's a massive achievement, and I know there's so many people I talk to whose aspirations are very much to get to that level, to get to the National League level, and it's fantastic. The hockey's fun, and to reach that level, great achievement. So congratulations, and I hope that I get to see you in action soon. And that's something that Yellow members like Mike can take advantage of, is send me footage and I will go through it with them and dissect it. So there you go. Great job. Congratulations. We're going to do it again. So make sure you like copy and paste for next week. Okay. Since I messed it up. Thank you all for joining in and indulging my intellectual exercises. Your help is always what makes this such an effective, productive time together. So don't forget, you could have an intentional foul inside the circle that leads you toward a penalty corner because the player does not have likely possession of the ball, but he is, or she is, disadvantaged. And if it's physical like that, you're going to want to give that personal penalty as well and give that card. And interesting techniques on the bullies. I think what we're going to have to look for, we're going to have to look for that flip of the stick over that taps and then slides down. Okay? Because I'm going to start watching contested bullies at the international level and see how often I see it in indoor, outdoor. And I bet I'm going to see it a lot more now. So you can too. Thanks for your time. It was great to see you. It was great to have you. We will see you for watch parties this weekend. If you're in Yellow, we've got a couple coming up, hopefully with the India teams. And yeah, we'll see you next week for the next What Up Wednesday. And YouTube is going to, about when this wraps up, is going to show you another couple videos. Not right now, but when I get the end cards up, come on, you guys, don't at me on this. It takes a couple minutes for everything to get processed. But they've got some suggestions, and they're probably really good ones. So do what YouTube says and watch another video. Thanks for coming by. Appreciate it. Bye, everybody.